testing a new deck, and of course we come up against mono white Phyrexian Poison, which usually means we gonna lose, but we're gonna try. They'll never stop us from trying. This is another entry in the Devilish Valet series, and I think we're calling it the Devil's Partners, because when I did one, let's see, that's just a horror, so it's not an artifact. Jewel Thief is great to put in now, though. And I guess I'll just attack. We've gone through the entire color pie. We've done some duplicates of the color pie with the Valet. There's so many options, so many choices, so many good cards to pair the Devilish Valet with. And then I finished another one, and Falcon DS9 said, oh, you know, let's use Jewel Thief, which I'd used in one red and green, but let's use Helena and Elena. And I'm like, every time I make a gross. I'm going to let that through, actually. Every time I make a green and red deck, period, it's a struggle for me not to include Helena and Elena. We're going to get rid of the charm. Because I don't want, the crown rather, I don't want him to have any kind of card draw. It's not mono white, it's black and white Phyrexian Poison. Which, in my opinion, is a little bit easier to beat. But we shall see. We'll see what they do. I don't know that we have anything easy to take out a Phyrexian Obliterator if they get 4 black mana down. Or the white Phyrexian Horror if they get 4 white down. So they can't sacrifice it for a 3/3. They're out of that kind of mana. Let's go ahead and... Oh, you know what? Let's just do this again. Let's just not give them any kind of relief. Okay, they finally have to chump block. And now they can't block. Elish Norn. You little puke. I feel like it's time for Tpull's Huntmaster. And we'll pass. Tpull is not legendary, but we can make him 7/7 just by not casting a spell.
I'm here on Gatewatch business, so stay out of my way. I can teach you a thing or two.
We're gonna let all that pass. Let's try this. Do you give up Elish Norn? You do! Nice! Okay, I like that. Another Elish Norn, that's why. That's why you're willing to give it up. Okay.
Just how I showed you. You got this.
You got this. Yeah, come on through, I don't care. And we're not going to cast anything. I don't have another wolf handy to do any fighting, but We'll see what happens with Arlen when I get Arlen out.
Oh, I've made friends in all kinds of places.
Oh, I see. Didn't want to lose it before the tokens were created. Next, we send the tramplers over here because they can't kill the tramplers, and we go get rid of that pesky little Geist Hunter. And now we have a couple of blockers too, all for casting just one spell so it doesn't flip from night to day. And he opts to save the Geist Hunter and take the full 8 damage. And he can't attack for any more poison because he needs to create 2 more blockers. Well, and he does manage to kill one of my demons. Land was not what you needed right there.
Oh, give up already. You're outnumbered.
Ah, Shieldred. Okay. Nice. We will draw. We will lose 2 life. We will get a 5/5 Trampler again. We will attack with everybody. And that should be game. That does not save you. Jump block the 10/10. Jump block Arlen, that still takes 4 points because of the trample, so you're dead there if you do that way. There you go. You can block a 2-pointer. You can survive Shieldred. Arlen will survive, and that's 5 damage lethal just with the 2 to get through. And no sign of the Devilish Valet yet, although we did start getting plenty of tokens. That was good for me, I think. Let's go ahead and show you the entire deck. For anybody new, welcome. My name is Travis. You're at Tpull's Corner. And we just got another card. Storm Skrillex. Alright, if I didn't have 4 copies of them, I do now. Remember to like and subscribe. And we're looking for Partners of the Valet. I didn't call it the Devil's Partners this time. Okay. And we will show you this, and hopefully we're going to play some more rounds real quick. And hopefully we'll show you the stars, right? Devilish Valet, we have 4 copies, so he should appear. This should be very familiar with anybody who's followed the series. 1/3 Devil Wear with Trample Haste. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you double his power. Now we have Helena and Elena partners. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put X +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is Helena and Elena's power. That creature gains haste. So Valet already has haste, but the key is, if we can get Helena and Elena out, and we put a couple of counters on the Devilish Valet, he'll be a 3/5 instead of 1/3. And if we get a single token out, instead of going from 1 power to 2 power, he'll go from 3 power to 6 power. And it'll be that much easier and faster after that to get to lethal damage. We do have 4 Tamiyo safekeepings, so we can give Hexproof and Indestructible to one or either of these to try and keep them alive. We've also got 2 Gaia's Gift to do the same thing. We've got Hajar, Loyal Bodyguard from Brothers War. You can sacrifice Hajar. Legendary creatures get +1 and Indestructible. And Helena and Elena are legendary. So we have yet another way that we could possibly save them if they're in danger. I only have 3 copies of Falana and Elena. I think that should be enough because this is our win condition, and we have other stuff in the deck besides Falana and Elena. This is just an enabler, so to speak. We have 1 copy of Bloody Betrayal, so if we get something like a Phyrexian Obliterator, we can take control of it and maybe use it for our purposes. We have 3 Blanchwood Armors. This was a suggestion of Falcon DS9. I'm guessing DS9 is a Star Trek reference. I don't know about Falcon if it's a pop culture reference or not. It could be like a Buck Rogers reference, or it could be just simply Falcon from the Marvel Comics. It could just be he likes Falcons. I don't know. But I'm immersed in pop culture from growing up in the late 70s and 80s. And most pop culture of the 90s, although some cartoons started to get too young for me. But, so I have a lot of options to choose from when I'm guessing what your screen name is for. Anyway, let's see. Falcon suggested Helena and Elena, Blanchwood Armor, and Jewel Thief, which Jewel Thief is really the only repetition, I think, from the last green-red deck that I did. And Jewel Thief is just great. You get a 3/3 for 3. He's already got Vigilance and Trample. And then on top of that, you give him a treasure token. That's just a lot. I mean, I think that he's actually a little overpowered for 3 mana. Maybe just Vigilance or Trample and the treasure would have been like considered a nice common card. So it's weird to see this at common, seeing him have actually 2 different keywords. I mean, I'm not sure why Trample, but that's what they did. So I think it's an overpowered card. It's a good card to include. We've got 1 copy of Howling Moon, so we can target wolf or werewolf +2/+2 until end of turn, because we do have a number of wolves later, but we don't have a lot. The key is whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, we get a 2/2 green wolf creature token, which is going to pop off on Devilish Valet. If he's untapped, when the enemy does 2 spells, then we can maybe use him as a defender. If they do 2 spells during our turn, then we can still create another token and double the Valet. And that might be a surprise to them if they're not paying attention. That might give us what we need for the trample, lethal damage. We've got 2 Broken Wings to get rid of artifacts and enchantments or creatures with flying. Here's a wolf. We've got Tovolar Dire Overlord, just 1 copy, 3/3. If you deal combat damage to a player, you have to draw a card. And if it's nighttime, we can give a target wolf or werewolf some trample. Over there on the right, you see X, red, and green. We've got 1 Graveyard Hate, Network Terminal. This also works as a mana dork to give us a little bit of ramp. But you tap another... Oh, I'm sorry. This is not Graveyard Hate. This is tap another untapped artifact you control, draw a card, and discard a card. And that is actually not what I wanted. So Network Terminal actually has to leave. We want to go get... I didn't do that right. Exile card from your graveyard. We want... Oh no, is that going to take forever just to do a search? I already did a search earlier. Now we have to wait. I'm so sorry. Did I mention you should like and subscribe because we have such riveting content? Okay. Wow, that was a big little... Okay, this is what we wanted. Honored Heirloom. Thank you. They both cost 3, but you get to add 1 mana of any color, or you can spend 2 and exile a target card from a graveyard. So there are a number of good graveyard recursion decks. Wizards of the Coast has gotten really fond. Every year it seems more and more of using the graveyard as a resource. So it's getting kind of tough to ignore the graveyard when you make your decks. So this is one way that we can exile a card from a graveyard. Planeswalkers, 2 copies of Arlen the Pack's Hope. We're looking for Nightbound, as you just saw, until end of turn. Moon's Fury becomes a 5/5 werewolf creature with trample, indestructible, and haste. If it's daybound, we can +1 and cast creature spells as though they had flash. Or -3, create 2 green wolf creature tokens. So there, right away, if we have nothing else but we have Valet on the field, we can put down 2 wolf creature tokens, and that'll double it from 1 to 4 right away. Let's see, we have 1 Child of the Pack. Mana Sink to create additional wolf creature tokens, or becomes a 5/5 during the night. We covered Helena and Elena. We have a copy of Rolik Mon's Warren Chief. He's a 3/3 goblin with menace. Whenever it attacks, you get to look at the top of your library. If it's a land card, you get to put it onto the library tapped. So if we get him out and attacking, maybe we can not miss so many land drops. If you didn't put a card onto the battlefield this way, you create a token. So we like that with the Valet, don't we? And here, if we do anything ahead of time to, say, double his power and we're attacking, they may not decide to block. But when we attack all of a sudden and we get an extra token, that doubles him yet again, and maybe he's a much more formidable threat. Or maybe they were going to block and they were just going to chump block and not kill him, and all of a sudden, again, more power. We've got one Rise of the Ants to create 2 3/3 green insect creature tokens. It's got flashback, so if we get enough mana later in the game, we can do it again. And 3 of Tovolar's Huntmaster, who's also a werewolf. He's a human werewolf. When he enters the battle, you get to create 2 green wolf creature tokens. So this is going to pop off 3 times for the Devilish Valet. So if he's just a 1/3, he's going to go to 2 to 4 to 8. If he's gotten bumped by Helena just once, and say Helena and Elena got knocked off later, he starts off as a 3/5, right? So when Huntmaster comes out, he'll go from 3 to 6 to 12 to 24. So that's the big benefit of pumping him up. And we did a red and white deck early on with concentrating on pumping him up with counters rather than tokens. And it was a fun deck and it works pretty well. So this is kind of a variation on that theme. Instead of red and white, we're using red and green to actually pump him up as well instead of just do tokens. And finally, one copy of Titan of Industry, because we can get a green Rhino Warrior creature token out as well when the Titan comes down. So that's 2 triggers for the Valet, and another chance to destroy artifacts and enchantments if we need to. That's the idea. Only 1 Field of Rune, only 1 Jetmir's Garden. I only have 1, and some dual lands, and that is it. So we're going to go in and play some more rounds. If you are relatively new and you haven't seen the other videos in the series, just go to YouTube Select Playlist, and Devilish Valet is one of the playlists. It's one of the ones that has more videos on the playlist than most others at this point. What I tend to do is I'll take a card that maybe is not as popular, not used as often, and I'll run it through the color pie, and we'll have, maybe even through just colorless with all artifacts too, if it fits. And we'll have 5 or 6 videos in a playlist to thoroughly examine the card and how it interacts with each of the colors, each of the different colors that we can come across. But with Valet, it's just such a fun card. Its triggers are always fun. And even if we've gone through the color pie once with it, you know, there's still more you can do. Oh, gross. Oni Colt Anvil. Okay, let's see. I guess we'll just get rid of that thing now, because I don't need the grief. He decides if he wants to get rid of the blood token or not first. Or I can just sacrifice the anvil itself. There we go. And maybe I should have waited till he had that tapped, but these games can be so long and slow and boring that I just lose my patience. I want to get rid of those right away. If he has another one right away, we're in trouble. Alright, here we go. I only included 3 Blanchwood armors because I do have a number of mountains. So it's not as... Usually you just keep Blanchwood armor if you've got an all-green or mono-green deck. With the Valet, it gets a little trickier, and I think Helena and Elena are going to die here. And that means we're going to possibly die if he has just one more removal. Let's go ahead and do Jewel Thief instead here. And let's go for broke. 6/6. Does that give us any relief? They have other forms of removal. They already went all out. Their hand is empty. Look at that. Thankfully, he lost the one with Menace. And he didn't want to do anything against us. That's an 8-8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's do it. It's got trample. I get to get rid of them all. All of them die. Now, they have a way of getting stuff out of the graveyard, so this is actually pretty good for us. We'll start with Twin Shot Sniper. And dun da da dum. I think Green Wino Warrior and 5 life. Put it on you. We attack. And they don't wait to see. They could have a removal card, but going up to 11, that gave me way too much time. So we've got a good enough deck that we don't actually need the Valet to show up, and he hasn't shown up twice in a row now. Halana and Elena is enough of a game winner on its own, let alone Titan of Industry when Titan shows up. But we want to keep playing so that we can find the Valet and put it out. If we run too long, I can always make a quick bite later in which I'll record a single game that has it happening and put it out. But I usually like to include it in the deck when it debuts. Every once in a while I run out of time, because I do have to get to work eventually. I do have to go to sleep at some point. But here we have the combo. We just need green. Fielder Rune can get us green. Phyrexia, okay. I guess we'll do that one next. Double strike with Toxic. Gross and gross. I was hoping I'd get green. They've got every color they need. They've got a big jump on us on the poison while we're still getting set up. So the odds are against us, but as soon as Phyrexia came out, I lost almost every single time to every Phyrexian deck. And it's not just because they're new cards, but Magic gives them an unfair advantage. Stuff like that. On curve, Planeswalker.
Feel the energy of battle, then guide it like water.
And how do we take out the duelist
We've
now?
got the edge in this fight.
See, it is just, and we missed a land drop. We missed a land drop. You little pukes. Well, we won 2 in a row, so we were due to lose. But now instead of... I mean, I've complained about this before. They've got an advantage with the Phyrexian in, everything Phyrexia in the new environment. Plus, they can mono-starve us. But when the arena algorithm decides, I'm assuming it's an algorithm and not just actually humans, because there's too many of us that are playing the game online. They can't do this. They can't have dedicated teams for every one of us, right? I'm dead. There's just no reason to continue. They didn't give me land. You can do... No, that wasn't a good game. It wasn't fair. You got 5 lands and I got 3. What in the... And they didn't give me my green color at the beginning. What in the world makes you think that was good? Nobody should feel good when they win that way. That's ridiculous. They don't need to do both. They don't need to land starve the deck, the deal, and give us up against Phyrexian Poison. One or the other should be fine enough to put us in our place. They just don't leave anything to chance. At some point they're like, okay, you've got to lose. We just can't suffer to have you win again. And that's not good. They need to tweak the algorithm. That's all there is to it. Okay, that's poker. 3 of a kind. But we can cast them all, so I don't feel bad. As I might usual. Because we're going to get tokens for all of that. And we don't have to worry about a counterspell right now. Although we will have to worry about flyers, because this is probably the pre-made deck. Yep. Tamiyo's safekeeping is perfect to have here. They do have the angels that come out and you're tapped. And he's already got one with a token. So if he has another Celestial Regulator, that'll tap and it won't untap for a turn. Or it would, if we weren't willing to do this. Take that, you biznatches. And I have Vigilance, so I don't tap. So there's no problem with me attacking whenever I feel like. They take it. We put out a Valet. They're looking at them. If they want to tap that one, I don't mind. And the one thing I'm missing is I have red and green, so I could have some combat tactics where I make them fight. I could have... Oh, now this could be fun. Oh, yeah. Chump blocking! I have trample on both of those. And you didn't have any counters. Alright, I did lose a Jewel Thief. And these do have, they have the exile enchantments, so we can always lose the Valet. Are you going to copy the Regulator? You're going to copy the Valet. Okay. Interesting choices. I just doubled my power. Life is good. He doesn't want to lose. It's like, why bother, right? Okay, if he can't tamp down the Valet, or he can't remove it, it's going to be game over. Angelic Quartermaster is not enough. Oh, now his Valet doubles. You can't pass that up. You got to attack, right? He does not attack. Sweet. Okay, 14, so it doesn't matter. Trigger, trigger. And then auto pay. More triggers. There's no first strike here. It's 13 points of damage that they absorb. He's dead from the other one already. Ta-da! See, after the mandatory loss... I think Wizards has my house bugged, by the way. Mech Hanger! I should have 4 of those by now, too. If I didn't before. I'll check later. I've been tardy on making a vehicle deck. I've seen them. There's a couple different ways to do it. I've done 1 or 2. But it'll be interesting to see in the current Phyrexian meta what good a vehicle-themed deck does. I don't know that anybody's been testing that out. I'm not coming across any vehicle decks anymore. This could still be Phyrexian Poison. I kind of like having both of those up front. White has access to so many artifacts and enchantments now. So many deadly things. White and green could still be Phyrexian Poison, or it could be Selesnya. Let's ramp it up. This feels kind of slow to me, so I'm feeling fine. Mondrak. Did I say I was feeling fine? I'm not sure I'm feeling fine anymore. Let's go ahead and put out somebody with Menace. Ugh. It's a little earlier than we usually see Twilight. They're artifact creatures. What do I do here? Maybe I should have been attacking? He's probably gonna make Mondrak indestructible. That's a nice combo to get extra creature tokens out with Mondrak that early. Oh no! Yeah, did I mention how we always lose to Phyrexian Poison decks? Did I mention how that's kind of not fair? Okay, yeah. We're just blocking the poisoners. But they have more spells. We're keeping these for the mono-white Phyrexian Horror that absorbs all damage. Do you have enough life? Oh, jeez. Mythic Rare. Mythic Rare. All 8 of them to give me 4 more tokens. And what the heck is left? 2, 5, 6, 7. That's it. You put a couple of Brothers War things in there. It's nice. I haven't seen it done that way before. We just let them hit. They had lethal. He got all the land he wanted. We had some mana, but we didn't quite have enough. We didn't have anything to foil him. He got exactly what he wanted when he wanted it. We did not really have a way to get rid of that. Yeah, when they get their mythic rares on curve, you kind of messed up. Alright, my conspiracy theory holds. We've gone up against 2 Phyrexian decks. We've lost against 2 Phyrexian decks. One was after we won 2 in a row. The second one was after we won demonstrating the combo. In the way that Magic has been treating me the last week, I need to lose twice in a row. Another Phyrexian deck. Can't really do much for 3 mana. We need 4. Flyers. Look at that. Gets the counter, then gets the angel that allows them to draw because of the counters. That's pretty much their perfect opening. It's a risk because we can't play anything on our stuff. Yep. Maybe we can get it back later if we get a disenchant type spell. See if we survive long enough. Does it do me any good to put out a Planeswalker when they can just attack it?
Feel your hair standing on end? What a good wolf.
We can make it indestructible for 1 turn. These guys are just flying over our heads. So not just all Phyrexia, they just went flying tribal, basically. So maybe I need to consider a board wipe in here. Indestructible, gain 2 life, why not?
Civilization encroaches further.
Wait a second, why didn't that work? Target permanent gains hexproof and indestructible. It doesn't work on planeswalkers? You still take away the loyalty. I didn't know that. I thought indestructible could save their loyalty markers. Hey, you learn something new every day. Okay, so what do we do? Rise of the Ants? Okay, so we're ground bound. They shouldn't bother blocking. They should just be happy to attack. What is that? That's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They got all their cheap spells real fast, didn't they? Only one that cost 4. And what can we do? We can do this. We can do this. There's the Elena. We never got the disenchant we needed to block against flyers. They were ready. I did mention we need to lose twice in a row, right? We can't have such a big win, such an overwhelming win with our combo like that without having retaliation. Magic doesn't do the 50-50 win percentage against me anymore. Magic punishes me. The algorithm makes sure that I lose, and then when it leaves me alone and I win, depending on how well I win, it comes back and punishes me with a vengeance. This part is not just a conspiracy theory, because we have documented evidence of it. And maybe some of this you haven't seen yet because I'm working kind of far ahead, right? So I could be anywhere between a week to a month behind you as far as describing the meta environment by the time this gets posted. Because I've got so many videos in the can. Don't land starve me. Notice you let me go first and everything. Didn't land starve me. So nice today. After you just crushed me 2 in a row, that is. Okay, so Tamiyo safekeeping doesn't stop them from taking away your loyalty counters. I gotta remember that one. Let's do this.
Humans and werewolves exist. We'll catch them by surprise.
Tamiyo doesn't work on Arlen. Tamiyo doesn't work on Arlen. Okay. They have haste, you have a combat trick too. I was so sure we'd be safe.
You're lucky my claws aren't out. Dawn approaches. I must go.
Okay, so it stays. Okay, we can protect Helena and Elena with Tamiyo safekeeping at least. So we kind of want them to try something. Because next turn, we'll also be able to do that.
There have to be answers about my past here.
I need one more land to get Tuvlar's Huntmaster out.
I know there's a hero inside you.
Is that first strike and pumping it up? We're going to let that through. Okay, didn't remove. Okay, so if we do this. Bam.
Well, if it's a fight you want.
None of this untaps it. Destroy. No. We're tapped out. If they have a second one of these in a row, we're in trouble. They did not. Thank you. Still waiting for land.
This is your fight. Win it.
Lifelink is nice. They're willing to sacrifice it. That's fine. We're working on protection. And now if they have 2 in the same turn, we're good. Gain control. No. You can +1 if you want. It will not help you. Do you have a 1/1 chump blocker you want to put down? That's perfect. Next. Yes. Plus them up. Whew. That's just lovely. Juana and Elena are at 7 power, so Devilish Valet gets 7 power.
I shouldn't have gotten involved.
That feels like an even better result than the last time we demonstrated the combo together. Thank you, Falcon DS9, for suggesting Blanchwood Armor. I would not have thought of that in a red and green deck. I was thoroughly convinced that mono green was fine for Blanchwood Armor, but it would be too restrictive somewhere else. Is that really all they could do? That's a little sad. It's not that they have bad cards, but I don't think they're getting them in the right combination that they need. And there we win without even triggers, without even introducing creatures. That's just the Valet and Juana and Elena together. Nope, you tried. They may think it's luck, but the thing is, we planned it that way. That's why we have 6 protection cards. We got 3 of them. Some people may think that's luck. Maybe it is. I say, after Magic Arena made sure to pummel me 2 in a row, they left me alone and let my deck come out the way it's designed. Those protection spells are priced low. The way the Magic sorting algorithm is, they don't want to give you every powerful card up front. They want to give you a range. We already got to 6 mana casting cards early on. It does have to give you the 1 and 2 mana cards. I don't have 1 mana creatures. I don't have 2 mana creatures. So that leaves the 6 protective spells are the cheapest things, 1 and 2 mana. So we're virtually guaranteed to get at least 1 of them early on. And maybe we'll flood out, but I like having 4 land early on. Phyrexia, here we go again. We did just win dramatically, right? But we've got, I think, like 2 wins and 4 losses. So now we kind of get into an area where Magic tends to start to lay off to a certain degree sometimes. Sometimes. They missed a land drop. Can you recover? You got all 3 colors like New Capenna rules. When New Capenna came out, we got these tri-land type things. And if you were playing 3 colors, by the 3rd turn you got all 3 colors. Except they didn't get 3 by turn 3. That's kind of fun. What do we want to do against them? I feel like we should do this. Your frog is going to be a roadkill. That's trample. +1, so we'll just end it now, right? Ta-da! I don't know. They had some land trouble there. I don't know how great that was. We might actually get our 15 wins in for the day. The last month did not go well for us with that. I got too close to the reset each time. That was the only other conspiracy theory I haven't told you guys about. When I get to about 11, 12 wins, and it gets to be late, sometimes I felt the urge to go ahead and experiment with creating a new deck, and then the playtesting would go horribly. And then I'd look at the time and I'd say, oh shoot, resets here, I need to switch decks and do something good, win some battles. And I'd go take out some of my winningest decks. And whether I was playing in regular or playing ranked, whether I was playing standard or playing historic, I would get like trumped 4 times in a row. And just up until the point where I would only get 1 or 2 more wins, and then the reset time would come and go, right? And then I was done. There was like, okay, I can't get the 15 wins. There was too many losses. So as it gets later, I sort of set aside the deck creation and just try and get to my 15 wins as I can. And this is going to be ninjutsu deck. They are fast. They already got their flyers out. They might have removal too, so can I really put Helena and Elena out on turn 4? Maybe if I put the Jewel Thief out first on turn 3 and get the treasure. That'll give me the cushion I need. They're already going to do some ninja stuff, and we just can't do anything about it. Life gain. We're not too concerned about their life gain. We can get to a point where we can counter that. The problem is if I can't stop their flyers, their ninja tricks can really throw us back up, get into our hand and do hand destruction. They have so, or just tap us down. Okay, and they still have 2 mana to do ninja stuff. I'm hoping they'll at least take up the Infiltrator. Okay, so now only 1 flyer. And now we have a 5/5 Vigilant with Trample. And I guess I shouldn't complain about the Jewel Thief being overpowered now, because he's saving my bacon. I can't tell if that's a him or he. Him or her. Should I just call you it? They didn't give us the pronouns, which is weird. Magic the Gathering is pretty good about being inclusive. It's a point of pride for them that they try. I'm saving it. Autopay. It's too valuable to me right now. You shouldn't have a ninja trick too. I expect you to bring down the Infiltrator. Thank you. Thank you for behaving the way I expect you to. Realize it has reach and first strike, and that's a bad thing to do. Don't do that. That's a misplay. There you go. We get a wolf. We pump the wolf. We do not attack. I'm just hoping they don't have another removal this turn. If they want to pump the Infiltrator, that's fine. They could have done the ninjutsu on that and had me reveal my hand. And maybe that would have been better for them, but they like the menace. They do like the menace. They could still bum rush me if they want to do 1 point, but they shouldn't be that desperate. What are they doing? Are they going to do some ninjutsu tricks against me? Do you have a ninja still? Okay, so we block you, we block you, we block you. I do have Tamiya safekeeping. I don't see what you were thinking. Well, they do have 3 mana. What can you do with 3 mana? Okay, so you managed to save your flyer. I'm sending in my Trampler. I'm out of protective spells, but now I have 2 Tramplers. Yes, use all your power. Seriously? That's a little bit messed up. This is usually when they scoop. It's like I've played the game before. No sign of the valet that time. Alright, I'm going to have to leave it there. Running low on time. Let me show you the deck again while I can. We're getting close to the reset time, my time, so I need to go get out a different deck that I think, as I just mentioned, I might still start losing. We'll see. But let me know in the comments if you want me to do another quick bite where I win with popping off with tokens as opposed to just getting counters on the valet. And that's about, I mean, we did it, he got a little bit of counters before once, early on. I think it was the 3rd match. But I'm not sure if I was satisfied with that. But shout out to Falcon DS9 for the suggestions on the cards. Solana and Elena worked great. Keeping Jewel Thief in was great as well, even though I tried to get all other different cards so that you could see the different variety that we could accomplish with the Devil Age Valet. And we did a pretty good job of sorting a nice little assemblage of cards that we haven't used before. Howling Moon didn't play much of a deal in this one this time around, or Tovolar, but you know, you can't get everything. These things are invaluable for this type of strategy. And Blanchwood Armor, good choice. That really worked out well. So for 2 color, maybe not 3 color decks, 2 color decks might be good. I'm also going to do a Flask historical deck with green and red. So that I can make everything into a forest. So that should be fun. Look for that coming up. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you want me to do a quick bite with another example of this winning by creating tokens as opposed to just counters. But otherwise, we'll leave it there. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a good one.